Films Last Crew review Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Into the Films Last podcast we go.
Spider-Man, the seventh one.
Hey team, Angus Tracken here, and welcome to the Film Slice podcast. I'm here, as always, with my co-host, Kane Diggly Wiggly, Kane Dogs.
Hey, going guys.
And Bro Diddly Doo, Broadman Richards. What is up, gents?
Cha-chow!
Ka-ching, that's his catchphrase. Alright, this week we are reviewing Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Kane Dogs, you want to whip out your IMDb summary?
I'm whipping it out as we speak. Miles Morales becomes the Spider-Man of his reality and crosses paths with counterparts from other dimensions to stop the threat to all reality.
Dun, dun, dun. That's it. Directed by Bob Persichetti, Peter Ramsey, Rodney Rothman, and got quite a few stars. Did you know that Nicolas Cage?
Yes,
I did. Yes,
I did.
I knew that prior to the movie being released.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I just knew it as soon as I heard the voice. I was like,
oh, really?
Oh, that's Nick Cage.
That's Nick Cage.
There you go. We've
So
also
weird-
got.
I also
Chris
knew it was Jake
Pine.
Johnson. I really like Jake Johnson.
Yeah,
I
Jake
also know
Johnson. Chris Pine.
John
Pine?
Mulaney. John Mulaney.
Yeah,
who's
John
a
Mulaney,
comedian.
great comedian.
His voice is very recognizable.
Yeah, got a good cast. Oscar
cast.
Isaac.
Chris Pine was the first Spider-Man.
Said that already, but yeah.
Oh, did you?
Yep.
Sorry.
Very
yeah,
good.
no,
Nice
I
of you to
was-
catch up.
Yep.
Yoma from Lonely Island.
Who? What now?
Yoma?
No.
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 He's the in Hot Rod, the guy that gets locked out of the house. Rod's younger brother. Yeah.
Who does he play?
Green Goblin.
Oh.
That doesn't add up at all.
Growls. Yeah, that's weird.
There you go.
So was this directed by 3 people?
3 people. Yeah, 3
That's
people are on the director's list, and then
I wonder how that works.
16 writers all up, which is interesting.
How many rudders did it take to score a light bulb, am I right?
Hey.
Hey. Oh.
All right. When you see the movie, what'd you think?
When did you see the movie? What did you think? Do you like the movie? None of the shit.
I saw the movie over a week ago for the first time on a pre-screening, and I thought it was bloody fantastic. But then I went and saw it again Thursday night, opening night, for everyone out, for all you plebs, and it was also fantastic. So I saw it with the FGF and with
With the FGF?
The Fijian.
the FGF and Her Majesty's Wardrobe on Instagram, and both loved it, and I thought it was fantastic. It was
Excellent.
great. Yeah, loved it.
Righto, Broadman. When did you see the movie, what'd you think?
I saw it yesterday afternoon,
Excellent.
and I thought it was pretty good.
Nice one.
Cool.
All right.
Yes, when did you see it?
I saw the movie this morning.
Of course it is.
Morning.
And I too really enjoyed it. I thought it was really cool and very different to everything else we've got so far.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Yeah.
Cool. Let's.
I mean, it is a superhero movie, and we've got like 11 of those this year.
But it's a
I have
different
seen
take.
the past 6 Spider-Man films as well. And
Amongst,
some of the animated TV shows.
amongst Spider-Man films and superhero films within that genre, this one is slightly different to those.
Yep.
Yes, well, thank you for shitting on that.
You're welcome.
Lads, you know how every week I put up on Instagram what movie we're reviewing, and I ask our slicey slices if they've seen it and what they thought.
And-
I do
not
know.
Twitter?
Have anyone
No.
did a comment?
No one has did a comment. But I'm pretty proud of the picture, so that's
okay.
good.
Okay, throwing this one out to all of the slicey slices out there. You can identify as a slicey. You can identify as a slicer. Whatever floats your golf ball.
We don't see colour.
Would like to put it out to you. I've never liked my name. Want a new name? Send us in some ideas for new names.
Hashtag rename bro.
Yeah, and
Hashtag
I'll try
cockball.
out a new name every podcast. And,
I like that you think we're going to get more than maybe one response, and that you think that response will be
Yeah.
more than me.
Well, I can comment. Bloody a list.
you even have social media?
A list of baby names. Yeah, I think I do, but it's locked away in a cabinet guarded by goblins.
Can we do it alphabetically?
We can do it alphabetically.
So your name for this podcast
Bark.
is Abacus.
Abacus. Sure thing. Good at counting.
It's kind of a cool name.
Or Abraham. What's first? Abacus is first.
Abacus is
Abacus
first.
is good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Abraham.
Which I would
is
know because I'm
next
good at
podcast.
counting. Yeah. So Abacus here at the Film Slice Podcast. Send in your name suggestions. Can be anything. I really don't care.
Very
It's
good.
like, have fun with it.
Oh, that's what the Slicey Slices thought of this week.
I put it up and I also got no reply. I thought I'd get a few replies with this one because a lot of people would be seeing it.
I thought so too, yeah.
But potentially, because school holidays starts a week from now, potentially people are waiting like another 4 or 5 days to probably go and see it. So maybe they just haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, fair enough.
That's fair. That's fair. All right, lads, moving on to our next segment. Would you recommend it? Who would you recommend it to? Birdman.
Who?
Abacus. I apologise.
That's better. So,
Right, man. He's been here for ages.
I would recommend this one, this cheeky little baby, to anyone who hasn't seen a Spider-Man film before. Because I've got to say, I am going through Spider-Man fatigue.
Really?
Like, yeah, I'd gone through it in like the Andrew Garfield days.
Well, thank God we don't have a Spider-Man Far From Home movie next
Yeah,
year.
and then Homecoming came out, and I was just like, okay. And then this one came out, and I was like, okay. So when I say I was pretty good, it's because there's a lot of stuff in this film which is done really well, but I would not have gone and seen this film unless we were doing this podcast.
Really?
Really?
It was like, it's Spider-Man. The like, I've even read some of the comics. It's like, I don't need to see it again. It's like...
At least they skipped a lot of the, like, imagine if we got him being, like, if we got the whole thing of him being bitten by
Go, Web,
Spider-Man
go.
and Uncle Ben dies.
Fly.
Yeah, but it's like, yeah,
Up and away, Web.
I'll get onto it. But yeah, if you have not seen a Spider-Man film, this is a good one to go see.
Yeah.
This is probably the best one that there is. But that being said...
Ooh, yeah. Big call.
That being said, and then
Still putting
anyone
Homecoming first, I think.
who likes animation, because I know there are a lot of people who aren't a big fan of animation.
I'm one of those people, generally speaking.
And
You're
so,
not a fan?
I'm not a fan of animated films. And
So,
yet I thought
this film has a
one was
really great animation
really cool.
style.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you haven't seen a Spider-Man film, if you like the animation, go see this one.
Yeah.
for it.
So just while we're on that topic, building on that, I generally don't like animated films because a lot of them these days all look the same.
Yeah.
Like they're always slightly improved
This one
as
is
years
unique.
go on, but the animation, like once you see like Ice Age and Shrek and things like that,
Yeah.
the animation is slightly better as you go on. But all of them are very much the same to me.
They
Whereas
have
this
similar
has
styles.
This is a very, very unique style. And it also sort of tackles onto what I'm going to say about recommending, which is I recommend this to parents that want to take kids as well. I really, as we all know, really love the superhero movies that are coming out at the moment, but I also wouldn't really classify a lot of them as recommended to kids because they're getting quite dark. We're also quite far into... Yeah, we're also quite far into a storyline that's been going on in the MCU for like 10 years. So it's hard to jump on that with a kid.
Yeah.
This is a way of making sort of comic hero films. I'd love to see a bunch of different heroes done in this style.
Yeah, for
It'd be
sure.
so great to see different comics all done in the way that this is done, and I think kids would absolutely love it as well as people out. Like, I'd probably think like 30s to 5. Yeah, I think if you're much older than sort of 35 or so, you might think this is a bit more of a children's film than anything else. I don't think there's too much of an emotional grasp to capture.
Unless you grow up with the original Spider-Man animation.
There's potentially nostalgia there, but as Brody said, there's a million Spider-Man films there for that.
Yeah.
So take nostalgia out of it in terms of just being a film. I don't think it has the depth that an older film goer might look for in sort of a more dramatic film, but certainly kids can watch this and there's a few jump scares and things like that, but it's pretty safe, I think.
Yeah, that jump scare got me. I could see it coming a mile away.
Yeah, it still got you though.
Still got me. Still jumped.
Yeah.
Damn it. Yes, I would agree. I'd recommend it to, probably a younger audience. Anything we want to touch on before we head on into spoilers? Any spoiler-free things? Just that this is very stylistic, I would say.
This is very, very stylistic.
very
I
different.
definitely think that this is not for everyone, this film. I think that there'll be some people going in to see this film who will be like, oh yeah, I'm pretty excited for it, that might not like it.
I think this film is being slightly overhyped. Before I went into this,
I saw a bunch of trailers saying it was the best film of the year and
a
stuff
bunch
like
of
that.
reviewers saying this is the best superhero movie of the year, and I'm like, well, Infinity War came out this year,
Yeah.
and Black Panther and
That's
all
a big
that.
call.
And people were like, look, we know those films
Any
came
other
out,
year.
but this is the best superhero film this year, and I was like, all right, well, reviewers and podcasts that I tend to agree with are making statements like that. It's probably really good, and I don't think I'd put it anywhere near Infinity War or anything like that, but that also does have like an emotional weight that's come from 10 years of build up for me, I guess.
Yeah.
Potentially just as a film standalone, maybe it's got better writing, but I also don't really think so. So
Yeah, I think the trailer is a good...
a good show. Yep. A good like representation.
representation. That's the word I was looking for. Good representation. Anyway, let's head on into spoilers.
Oh, what a cool sound effect, Angus.
All right, we're in the spoiler section where we dissect and divulge everything about the film.
dissect and divulge.
Yes, we are very scientific here.
Yep, we are
I hope
very
you're wearing your
scien-
blood-safe splatter clothes.
Yep, we
I'm
hope
not,
that your
and I'm
scientific
already
theorems
drenched.
are perforant.
Everyone signed the waiver?
Yep, I have signed the wafer.
Excellent.
I've also signed the wafer.
You've signed the wafer?
The wafer biscuit.
And might I say, it was quite delicious. Now, let's get into Cinema Dicks. Anyone got a Cinema Dick this week?
No. No, not really. I had some kids running around and dancing. We had someone clap again. And what's great is
Apparently it's a thing. Maybe we just need to get on the clap train.
Her Majesty's Wardrobe. Why did she pick such a long fucking name? But when we watched it and someone clapped, she also listens to the podcast and she was like, "Brody's right. Why do they? Clapping's weird." And I was like, "Yeah."
Yeah, it is.
But yeah, so I had a clapper at the end of the second one, but that's all. And some kids running around.
I think in the next film I go see, I'm going to clap. I just want
Just in
to.
a really sad
I want to
moment.
experience the high.
I want to experience the high.
I want to see what these people are getting out of it. It must be something damn good, otherwise you wouldn't do it.
I want to
Surely.
experience the high. That's great. I like to think that, you wake up in the morning, you look at a mirror before you go and see a movie and go, "I'm not clapping today," and something's changed, and you're gonna wake up and you're like, "You know what?
Today's the day.
Today's the day."
What's the next
And
film
then
I'm going to
Brody
see?
and then he
Probably like Aquaman or
Bumblebee,
something.
I think.
and then Brody walks.
I don't mind. I don't want to.
Don't clap that.
Nah, that's
Don't
going to be the
clap.
one and only film in my life
The
that I'm going
only
to clap.
film you're gonna clap will be Transformers Bumblebee reboots.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'll do it for the meme.
Bloody
Very good.
Abacus. We're not bringing
Abacus.
you back.
All right, Abacus. Cinema Dicks.
Cinema Dicks. I would like to bring up
Please do.
my disappointment in the person that decided to make the movie-going food popcorn, as it is crunchy and loud.
Yes. And then you spend the rest of the time getting shit out of your teeth.
Yeah, who decided that was going to be the food?
Those that have studied the history of cinema would know that popcorn actually saved the whole industry. But, continue.
But those of you who don't agree with Brody, including myself.
Yeah,
Fucking dumb idea.
What's wrong with a good sandwich?
Or
As long as yeah,
Brody's-
no, a
Brody's-
soup can be slurped. Good, fine sir.
Brody's-
But a sandwich with no lettuce is a fine silent
Brody's
food.
Cucumber.
the name of Brody's third book. What's wrong with the good sandwich? And on the blurb, whatever you
Minus
said
lettuce.
can be slurped.
I love the sound of straws being pulled out of of like fast food cups. And I love that sound so much that I think we should all just start just in the middle of them.
And while we're at it, what's the go with customers, right?
I thought you were going to say custard. Custard would be a good food.
Let's go with custard.
What's the go with custard? They never have enough.
Let's make-
Really break down and dissect the go with
Every
custard.
time I brought in a bucket of custard,
You got milk, you got flour, you got custard powder.
Let's make custard the new cinema food.
that's a good cinema food.
Would you like a small
Tastes great.
custard, a medium custard, or a
That's quite-
super-sized
Except if you
custard?
have it in a bowl, the spoon's really going to be clanky.
Only if it's a metal bowl.
Yeah,
Custard and a
plastic.
and a
Plastic.
straw.
Nah, plastic bowl, plastic spoon.
Okay,
Custard.
yeah, all right. We've solved that problem.
Even,
Very good.
even better, wooden bowl, wooden
So,
spoon.
bro,
No. Velvet.
Rubber.
Rubber.
A rubber.
Yes, rare
Yeah.
rubber.
So Brody's
Rubber
Cinema
would be
Dick this week, popcorn.
good. Yeah.
You've got two kind of popcorn eaters. The first popcorn eater is relatively unobtrusive, which is a single piece of popcorn
I'm that
in the
one.
mouth, you
That's
go,
me.
chew it.
Yeah.
Second popcorn eater, which I'm ashamed, but I am one,
Is
is
as
the
much
big
as you can
handfuls
fit in your
that just
handful.
try and fit as much as you can in your mouth.
And in
just
that way,
start
you
chewing.
start biting down even though your mouth's open.
Yeah.
So you get so it's like a speaker, yeah.
Look, I'm not proud, but that's how I was raised.
Yeah.
Anyway, Spider-Man.
That's how he does most things, just with a big handful and then shove it into his mouth.
Yeah.
Like water,
Yeah.
M&M's?
Most liquids.
most liquid custard.
Custard.
Just a big handful. Just try and get as much as I can.
Angus, do you have a Cinema Dick this week?
I don't have a cinema dick. I have noticed that we are in the spoiler section, and generally we're still pretty light on in the spoilers. So I want to put forward an idea of let's just try and spoil as much as we can in the next 30 seconds, and then go into our positives.
I've got to
okay.
remember anything
Sure
that
thing.
happened.
I can start us off.
Yeah.
Go on.
What's his name? Kingpin kills the first Peter Parker.
Yep.
Just smashes him in the ground in one of the best deaths I've seen all year. Thought that was really good. It felt like
that was brutal,
That was like
yeah.
a brutal death.
Definitely.
And it was like impactful and it was like, holy shit, that guy just killed Spider-Man.
The Prowler is Miles Morales' uncle.
Uncle, yeah.
Fun
Yeah.
fact also, though, the Prowler is the guy that is played in Spider-Man Homecoming by Troy from Community, who is mainly known as, not Troy from Community, but...
Childish Gambino.
Childish Gambino. So Childish Gambino is actually playing the character that is the Prowler in this movie.
Was he credited as the Prowler or just like...
No, his name, when he's talked to, his real name, whoever the Prowler's real name is his name.
In Homecoming.
And he also,
right.
mentions that he has a nephew in that town, and he's referring to Miles Morales.
Very good.
So fun fact, potentially we'll get Childish Gambino as the Prowler. Probably never,
Probably never.
but it's a fun fact.
Wow.
Very good.
What else can we spoil? Oh yeah, a bunch of spider people come from other universes into this one.
Yep. Noir Spider-Man.
Including Spider-Ham.
Spider-Ham.
Yeah.
I
Actually,
don't think there's a lot of spoilers in this. I think it's just...
Miles eventually learns how to use his powers
I think the best part of this...
with no story beat at all.
I think the best part of this movie isn't actually defined by secrets and spoilers. I think it's just defined by the way they very well put together the narrative and make it interesting.
Yeah.
So...
And the art.
You've probably picked the wrong movie.
Maybe we'll save it for next week.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
But leave all of this in.
I would just like to say goodbye to that segment.
All right, let's move on to our most positives of the films.
Brody, do you want to start us? Abacus, do you want to start us with your positives?
Abacus
Even though
will.
I did say K-Dogs, do you want to start it off? With
Yeah,
positives?
but I haven't thought of one yet.
Fair enough.
I haven't specifically thought of mine
really
yet.
liked having Nick Cage in there. I didn't know it was going to be him. And when he started talking, I was like, "Oh, that's Nick Cage. That's awesome." And then I was going through, and he was probably my favorite character in the entire film.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's pretty great.
And I was just like, I want to see a noir film.
I
want to see a
love
Spider-Man noir
I
film.
love that he doesn't understand the Rubik's Cube because his
Yeah.
character only sees in shades
black
of
and
black
white.
and grey.
Yeah,
Well, yeah, black
Yeah.
and white. So he's like, "Is this purple?" Nope.
But
that was a good
It's
game.
great. Yeah.
and
I
when he
think that's
goes
really
back
funny.
into the portal, he's like, "I'm taking this."
I'm taking it. I don't
And
understand it.
in the credits, there's like pictures of him like holding it up in front of
Yeah.
crowds of people and stuff.
I also just love that he's like, "I
Like,
don't
on
understand
pedestals.
it, but I will."
Yeah,
That's great.
yeah, so good. So I really liked him. He was just like a really welcome addition to this film, and I've got a massive soft spot for Jake Johnson as Peter Parker. I just love him from New Girl and anything I've seen him in since. I've just loved him, and thought he was amazing.
Definitely.
Always knocking it out of the park, and I thought he was a great choice for the Peter Parker, and he was just like slipped into that role like a sweet pair of slippers.
That fit.
What about you, Ang Frang?
Thanks, Brang Mang.
It's Abacus.
More like Abacus Fabacus. Abacus Fabacus.
My most positive, I think, just that the style of this film was very different. So I like that they really incorporated a lot of the comic book style things as well. So you could actually, you'd see like the different panels and everything when they're changing scenes, and you'd see speech bubbles come up, and you'd see thought bubbles and everything.
Yeah.
But it wasn't done in like a really weird cliche
It wasn't corny,
way, or
yeah.
like a...
All I thought when I saw this is I would love, like, if we didn't already have the Deadpool movies that we have with Ryan Reynolds, this style would be a perfect style to introduce Deadpool with, because you can introduce those text box sort of things
the
that
little
he
thought bubbles.
actually notices and communicates with. Because there's a point where Miles Morales, once he starts having those powers, and then he starts reacting to what we see to be the thought bubbles. And, and he's like, "Why are my voices so loud?" and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That was such a Deadpool moment for me. I'm like, Deadpool would slip so smoothly into this kind of a world.
Like a sweet pair of slippers.
Like
And
a
I feel like,
glove.
I reckon Deadpool could actually work really well as a cartoon as well.
There's
because you
also-
could do so much more.
There's a comic
Weird shit.
book, and also just a whole fandom about Spideypool, which is just like a parent, like a buddy cop type comic series of Spider-Man and Deadpool. And this would just be the perfect medium to represent that outside of a comic book. It'd be incredible.
Cane Dogs, what's your most positive thing about the film?
I tend to agree with both of you, but adding on top of that, I also really like the soundtrack for this movie.
Yeah.
There's a few, like, it may be hard to remember. Listening to Triple J quite a bit, there's a lot of songs from there, because they've got that Post Malone? No. What's his name?
There is an artist called Post Malone.
I think it's Post Malone.
Yeah.
Sunflower. He did that, and then there's another band that I can't quite remember. They do a song called "What's Up Danger," which is the song that plays when Miles Morales first puts on the proper Spider-Man suit and like jumps off the building. That song I've been listening to for 2 weeks. That's a wicked. The soundtrack just went really well in defining sort of the urban feel of where Miles Morales sort of grew up. I think the music does a lot to differentiate his personality
story from Peter's
and his story and his upbringing.
Or Peppies.
In
Peppies? Puppies. Puppies? Peppies. Peppies?
Thanks for interrupting my sentence for that comedy gold there, Brody.
It's Abacus. Get it right.
By the time we do, you'll change it again.
Yeah, so
Yeah, it's a different one next week.
I think the music played a much more important role than people may notice, just in differentiating Miles Morales' sort of story and upbringing and vibe in comparison to Peter Parker's vibe.
Definitely.
I think we should take a moment and talk about how derogatory the term Spider Ham is, because it is referring.
And Peter Porker.
It is referring to the meat that the creature is made out of, and that's what the creature's name is. It's not Spider Pig, it's Spider Ham, and I think that just pretty much sums up the world in which we live in these days.
Really does.
That's true. In the political climate
Brody,
that we
you've
have.
you've really
Hashtag man, not ham.
It should be pig, not ham.
Yeah, that is just Spider-Man.
I like that Angus has completely ignored the point Brody has made
Man,
there.
not ham. Man, not ham.
And
Man, not ham.
What Angus has done there isn't Brody's point, which is it should be pig, not ham. What Angus has done is...
I think a pig can be a man.
Let's just make it a man.
This is
instead of a
2018
pig.
after all.
Yeah. Men pigs are now the norm, Jordan.
That's it.
Yeah, we don't discriminate.
I'm going to push for pigs being able to vote in next year's election.
Yeah. Man, not ham.
Man, not ham.
That'll be the day. Right.
If you listen to our podcast and you see us on the street, just say "man, not ham," just to let us know
Or free the pickle.
that you came to you found us because of the podcast.
If you walk up and say hashtag Gordo, though, I will punch you in the face.
yeah, shouldn't have brought it up.
All right, moving on.
Moving on. All right, let's
Angus, have
head
you
into
done
the
your- you've done your-
negatives.
Yep. What's your negative, Angus?
What's my negative?
What is your negative?
My negative, like...
Related to the film.
Is it Mr. Negative?
He wasn't in this one.
Nah.
That's why it's my negative. Because he wasn't in that
Is
one.
your favorite character?
No, he's not my favorite character.
No, of course. It's
No, my biggest negative, I don't really have a lot of negatives about this film. I really did enjoy all of it. There is only one kind of thing that I wasn't a big fan of, which was Spider-Ham, because I felt like it kind of made it a bit too cartoony.
Yeah.
I would have preferred to see something else. Like if we
undermined
got like
some of the
punk
serious-
rock Spider-Man or something like that would have been cool.
He undermined a lot of serious moments.
Yeah.
A few times.
Yeah. But, like, honestly, I don't actually have that many negatives about this
yeah.
film. Yeah. I think we should move on from me because I'm struggling.
Yep. Okay.
Abacus can go.
Go Abacus.
Okay, so other than just the whole Spider-Man fatigue thing,
Yeah.
of just like, we've seen all of this before, and in this film, you do get 6 origin stories. Even though they are very, very quick cut, it was still, by the time we got to the last one, I was like,
Yeah.
you know.
I've got a positive.
Miles Morales just learns how to use his powers just because plot.
Because plot.
Yeah.
That was
That's not wrong.
that was the biggest misstep for me.
Fair enough.
Where I was just like,
that's not wrong.
also,
Also, he has that amazing electric ability that can wipe out the Kingpin in one touch that he just decides not to
Yeah.
use.
that.
the whole end
the
fight.
Kamehameha.
So I'm guessing in the comics, can he turn invisible and has he that spider bite or whatever it's called, sting?
So the idea is he's bitten by a different spider and therefore...
he gets all of Peter Parker's abilities
well,
and 2 more. It was one of those weird things where it's like, oh, I guess he has powers, which makes him more powerful than Spider-Man, but did he need to be? Spider-Man has like kind of the correct level of power.
I'd put that down
Where
to
he's not invincible,
Yeah.
but he has enough abilities that make him very formidable.
Yeah.
But it's like, but then now he can turn invisible and he has a venom strike. I was just like, you're giving him stuff that he doesn't need.
Yeah, I'd put that down to
That's
the...
weird stuff. That's like that's more of a problem with the original.
I'd put that down to the fault of the comics that came out in 2008.
Can I quickly do my positive?
Yeah, go ahead.
So one of the things that I did really like was at the start when he's like, I'm Spider-Man. You've heard this all before, so we'll go through a quick blah, blah, blah. And then it cuts to him like, you know, saying, oh, like, you know, my uncle died, blah, 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 blah. And then this happened, and he does the walk down the street in
what's
Spider-Man
great
3,
is-
like the
That
emo
was a
walk, and he's
great
like,
reference.
we don't talk about that.
What's great is
I really
all of the
like that.
things that you
That was really
see, like him, are actual shots from the original Sam Raimi Spider-Man films, but changed slightly.
Yeah,
so that you know that
into
it's
a cartoon.
So you know,
Yeah,
but not only
reanimated.
into a cut. Like there's that scene where he's holding all the strings, and in the Sam Raimi films, he's on a train.
Yeah.
And in this, he's like on a bridge.
Yeah.
Like
Well,
it-
they did the train one as well.
Yeah.
They had the train one, and then they did a bridge one as well.
Yeah.
what it does really well though is it shows that this is a slightly different reality to the other Spider-Man that you've seen as well. So even if you've seen and really like the Spider-Man Sam Raimi's, this isn't a change in continuity. It's another universe. What I
yeah.
great would I think more films could do this within the superhero genre. Just be like, this is in a different universe.
Yeah.
And in this universe, this is happening. And it's a really quick way to tell a story, and people could do that for any film.
Definitely.
I'd love to be like, you know what, you've seen this before. So here's a different reality where this happened.
Yeah.
And then we could get a completely different film, and it'd be awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
And you wouldn't have to wade through like 30 minutes of how that happened. You could just be like, it's a different universe, and this is a problem.
And it did a really good job of
Yeah.
setting up like your expectations for the rest of the film, because I feel like
It was
all
really engaging
Yeah.
really early on, and
Yeah.
Chris Pine was such a charismatic Spider-Man. Like, there's a part where he's fighting the Green Goblin at the beginning, and he's like, "Are you mad at me?" Like while they're fighting, like it's really like it's just
Yeah.
really engaging.
Yeah.
Sort of
Really
creepy
classic
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man. Yeah, for sure. I also thought of a quick negative, if you'll allow me.
Yep, go for it.
I'd like
It's
to do
just
it.
me who's going to have to edit
I'd
it.
like to
so-
do I'd like to do a negative at some point, but go for it, Angus.
So quick negative off the top of my head. I didn't like how square the guy was. What's his name? The
Kingpin?
Kingpin.
I didn't like
Yeah.
how square he was. Like,
He's just a
it was
giant
stylistic.
block
The
of
others
person.
seemed stylistic, but within proportions.
Yeah,
Whereas this,
Kingpin was literally a big blob of suit with
Yeah,
a head
there's
kind
no
of
neck.
sticking halfway
Yeah.
throughout.
Yeah.
Like where his belly button was meant to be.
he was slightly too big, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Just slightly too
He
big.
didn't look like muscly either. Like I
yeah.
prefer like a Kingpin that looks big but actually looks like he could do something.
wreck you. Yeah.
This one looked like a Wreck-It Ralph kind of.
Yeah.
He looked like a character from a different art style.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, this did have a few different directors, and maybe this had some different artists contributing.
140 animators.
Really?
Yeah, biggest amount of animators in any Sony picture yet. Just a little fun fact
That
for you. There
explains,
you let it go.
that explains the rest of the Sony movies.
And explains why the credits went for so long. K-Dogs.
Onto the negatives. The Peter Parker that we get for the majority of the film, who lost
Jake Johnson.
Mary Jane, he has quite an emotional sort of pull that you get where he wasn't ready for kids and he gets a divorce, and although they make a lot of fun about it, there are a lot of scenes where you actually really feel for him.
yeah,
and I
for
was
sure.
really looking for the closure where he gets sent back for things to work out. I was hoping we'd get just a little bit more, because when he gets sent back, you see him like do
Show
that
up on
web sling,
MJ's
like
doorstep.
show up on the doorstep, and then it cuts away. I really would have preferred to get a little bit more closure there. Or for
Jordan,
them-
time and time again, we run into a situation where you want to know more, and I'm happy with not knowing.
and
It
the other
happens.
thing
It
is-
happens in a lot of films where, like, I really wish that we got a resolution to that character's storyline. It's like I prefer not knowing.
And the only other thing is and we already talked about it with Peter Porker. There being this
Can't
this
take
is
it
this is my point, where certain jokes undermine the depth of the drama that's happening.
They underline.
And I think the one that really sort of frustrated me both times I watched it is when, again, the Peter Parker that is divorced sees Mary Jane of Miles Morales' world,
Yeah,
and he he has to go and see her,
yeah,
and he does, and you really feel for him not being able to express how he feels.
yeah.
And then it's completely undermined by this joke about getting her bread. And it just didn't sit well for me both times. I would have liked for that to have just been a somber moment rather than it be
A joke about
traded
bread.
in for a joke about like, I really wish I could give you more bread. Like, I didn't want that joke.
Yeah.
I just wanted her to be like, are you okay? And then for him to be like, I'll be
I've gotta
better.
go do
Like,
something.
I've got to go do.
Yeah.
I promise I'll be back. I'll fix this or something. And
Yeah.
for there to be an emotional pull there.
Fair.
That's really my only negative.
Yeah. There's not a lot. Not a lot that I
it's
can
great.
think of.
Did you guys stay for the end credit scene?
I did.
How
I
great
didn't.
is it's not worth it. Like,
It's definitely not worth
Yeah,
it. No.
It's not worth it.
I was already like running late a bit, and I was like, I can't.
no,
I can't
it's
do
not
this.
worth it. but if you have nowhere else to be, it's quite funny. Like,
Yeah.
it won't give you any extra information. But basically what it is Spider-Man 2099, which is Spider-Man from the comics from the Great Future, basically has like a universe jumping / time machine watch that he puts on. And futuristic MJ is like, now you can go wherever you want. He's like, all right, let's start at the beginning. And he goes back to the Spider-Man 66 cartoon. And you know that meme where there's two Spider-Man pointing at each other? He goes back and sees the Spider-Man 66 and they point at each other. They're like,
And they're in the same style.
and it's in that like really badly 60s drawn style, and it's like I'm
every-
Spider-Man. Hey, I'm pointing
everything's
at you.
just-
No, I'm pointing at you. No, and it's just like a small joke. It's really funny, but it's not worth the 45 minutes it takes to sit through the credits. What was I gonna say? We'll never know. Oh, Stan Lee. Stan Lee was in this movie.
Yeah.
It was a bit sad. Tear to
This is
my
gonna-
eye.
Yeah, this is going to be the last.
No.
No, he already filmed his one for.
They've already
did
filmed.
he?
They've already done the one for Infinity War, and
Yeah.
they've already done the one for Captain Marvel,
Yeah, I was about to
and
say
they've already
Captain
done the
Marvel.
one for Spider-Man. So we'll see him 3 more times next
Okay.
year.
Back from the
Because
grave.
he had like a health scare last year before he died,
Right.
and Marvel went
Shit, let's.
get him on set and let's
like,
just roll out a
Okay,
bunch.
Stanley, can you read these 500,000 words?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stanley, can you
It's
just,
on a green
Just
screen.
into this mic,
can you
please.
put on this light blue sweater and say this? Great. Now can you put on this light green sweater
Yeah.
and say this? Like, yeah, we'll see
They
him
could
a
have
few
just
more
got him to put on a
times.
green sweater, and then they could have color
I
corrected
think
it, whatever.
the problem with seeing him a few more times in films is we're never quite gonna feel like it's the last time we're seeing him. Like right now, that the feeling that you're experiencing where it's like, oh, I thought
Yeah.
this was the last time we were seeing him, and that was really emotional. But now you know you're gonna see him 3 more times.
Yeah.
You'll see him in Captain Marvel, you'll be like, oh, it's Stan Lee.
Well, because there's.
Can't wait to see him a month from now in
Yeah.
the next movie. It
'Cause
sort of takes away from his last.
Yeah.
I really want him to show up in Aquaman.
Might happen. No, at the end of it, because at the end of this film, originally,
As a
they,
fish.
at the end of this film, they
Rest in peace.
at the end of this film, they were originally going to, like, say in loving memory of Steve Ditko, who was the other creator of
Yeah.
Spider-Man, who died recently this year. And then they just put Stan Lee there as well.
Yeah.
Sad.
Sad.
I did tear up.
I teared up when I saw him, but yeah.
Yeah.
I was.
I didn't care.
I just didn't like the.
that upsets me.
I just didn't like the cameo that he did. Like, it was kind of undermined by a joke.
Yeah,
like it
exactly.
was like a real, like, you know what? Anyone can wear the mask. Like,
It'll fit eventually.
It'll fit you eventually.
Everyone will grow into it.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah,
it
that
cuts,
kind of thing.
and then it's like, oh,
Yeah.
it's a joke.
Yeah,
Would've
like
been
I
better
would have
without
been
the
so
joke.
much happier
Yeah.
if it didn't come out and it's like
Exactly.
no refunds
And
or
that,
whatever.
yeah, that sums up my biggest negative.
Yeah.
Yep.
Fair.
All right, cool.
Cool. I think we're done there. So my idea, seeing as we're talking about Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, obviously there's much more Spider-Men and Spider-Things out there. We got Spider-Ham, but I feel like that was just the tip of the iceberg for the animal spider
Spider-Berg?
people.
Spider-Bird. Spider-Bird.
So-
Spider-Bird does whatever a Spider-Bird does.
Come up with
Can
your
it
best-
swing? Yeah, and it flies because it's a Spider-Bird. Fucking makes sense. No, but Spider-Bird.
Come up with your best
No,
spider
we finished
thing.
it, Angus. We're finishing on that.
We're cutting that out, Jordan.
Oh.
Come up with your best spider thing from a different Spider-Verse.
Spider koala.
Yeah, g'day, mate. I'm Spider Koala. Oh, your cat's in the chimney again. Oh,
Got any leaves I can chew on?
fair suck of the sauce bottle.
I only wear batang singlets and socks with thongs.
That's just Spider Australian.
That's Spider-Bergen.
Spider-Bergen. That's mine. There we go.
Spider-Bergen.
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 Favorite catchphrase is
Can he swing? Yeah, but he can't be fucked.
Can he swing?
Can't be fucked.
He's got a radioactive truck. Thank you for listening to the Film Slice podcast. And lads, this is a special one. We didn't address it in the actual podcast, but this is 50. Half a century. We reached half a century. Good job to everyone involved, including the listeners.
This is my life now!
Here's to the next 50.
Here's to the next 50. Reaching a century, boys. Let's get it up, yeah.
See
All
you
right.
in November.
Actually leaving now, Suze.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for helping pack up.
Man, not hand.
Boy.